just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Hack City, Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, two former college football players from the University of Rhode Island, here talking in the offseason. Today, Sean, we've got some pretty sticky news with some rule changes as the controlling powers of college football are trying to distract us from the grander issues, Sean. That's what's going on. We're also going to predict two teams each that we think are going to have significant drop-offs this upcoming season in 2023. All that and more coming up. Sean, today, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I've been on the Harry Potter grind. It's about as fun as I can. It's the most fun I've had playing a video game in years. Don't bring this game up on the show again.
Why not? I will cancel this show. I will cancel this show.
I'll start the Pottercast. I don't care. I'll figure it out.
Okay. Like there aren't as if there aren't 50 dorks that live in Silver Lake that aren't already producing that podcast. So that better not be on your mind. If I ever found that you were waiting, Harry Potter sucks. It sucks. I really hate it. Like, I think it's one of the stupidest, most overhyped.
That's a bad take, brother.
Series. It's not a bad take. It's so overhyped.
Star Wars sucks.
I don't have much of a leg to stand on with that. I'm actually not that in on Star Wars recently because the last three movies they put out. So
I bet you were all in as a kid, though, huh?
I was never in.
You have Harry Potter glasses, and you don't like any part of it.
Harry Potter glasses.
Oh, Dahmer
glasses I had were
Dahmer glasses. My bad.
I said to you before this that the intention was this to be a little more family friendly because we might be out on some other platforms going forward. But you're already testing me. How
am I testing you?
Because I want to curse at you.
You're being rather judgmental of a fun. This is my first open world game that I've played. Okay, I grew tired of Call of Duty, and maybe that's maturity. I would find so, and then this game is here, and plenty of exploring and challenges. It's a good mix of action and puzzles. It's about all you could ask for. The graphics are fantastic.
So lame. It sounds so lame.
It's really not lame, man.
Unbelievable. Oh, there's a lot of puzzles. Don't get. Go outside.
You're
touch grass.
I did
please.
Touch grass.
Did you?
You're Johnny Suave. That's what I'm hearing. You don't do anything dorky.
I don't play Harry Potter games.
What's the dorkiest thing you do right now?
Probably watch a lot of film. That's kind of dorky.
No, that doesn't feel. No, you know what I mean. Like dorky.
Dorkiest thing.
Nerdy.
Well, the extent of my schedule these days, I don't even really watch TV anymore. It's gym, watch tape, go to the driving range if I have time. That's the extent of it.
You're going to the driving range?
I started going again. Didn't hit very well.
Did you buy clubs out there, or did you bring them with you?
No, I shipped them out. I shipped them out here.
Made of money. You can't hide it. Tell you what.
I brought them on the plane with me. I just checked the bag. It's like $50.
Okay, made of money.
Whatever.
Man. I didn't know you were going to the driving range. I didn't know you took them off the golf shoes off the hanger for this season. I got a couple weeks I think before I'm ready to jump back in.
It's too nice for me not to get into it right now. So I'm trying to get back into it. My irons, I was hitting it really cleanly. The power's still there, but the problem is that don't give me that look.
I do. Go ahead. Go. I'm not giving a look. I'm not making a look.
You're giving me a look. I have some decent power on my swing, but the issues that I'm having is that all of my drives and all of my woods, I'm shanking the hell out of them to the right, and I don't know how to fix it. Don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, it's probably your wrist.
It is.
Yeah, it's the right wrist, and I got the baseball swing. I slice everything. I would love to golf with you because your mental weakness,
fortitude.
It's really you do not have the mental strength. I think for a full 9 of golf with me. It makes me kind of fire because I'm about 10 degrees before I can really start golfing. It's like in the 60s, which is like still a windy 60 here. I'm like, right. This kind of. Like it's fine to stand in, but if I'm on a course and it's like windy and I'm just sitting there like I'm gonna be out here for 3 hours in this, no, I'm not gonna do that. But I don't know why. Okay, you averted. What's the nerdiest thing you do? And then I'll get to the
I
read.
don't think there is. I really don't think there is anything because I don't watch much TV anymore. I don't like. I'll sometimes watch things on the side when I have time, but I spend more time on TikTok because I am one of the many people that have fallen into that trap. But
Yeah,
no,
that's embarrassing for you. That's embarrassing for you. I've stayed out.
Damn it! Oh God. We made it 5 minutes in. It's a new record
For you.
It's a new record for
I'll
me.
go this whole show.
Sean, can we get to the topics that we have for today?
Sure. We don't
before
have a
we
read? Do I have a
Can you
read?
do the read? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
send the read.
I have a read right here. Don't worry.
I have to send the read, but continue.
Do I need a new read?
No, use the read that you have.
I have a read, and I got some free money today from a soccer plug that I have to put down a little bit of dough on
You're betting on soccer. You're playing Harry Potter games. You're a
bowling
completely different
also.
human
Talking
being.
about
Oh,
Harry Potter while bowling. But
such a loser. I don't like this version of Sean.
I'm similar to you though, going to the gym and then either my nights are filled with Harry Potter or bowling.
We're not the same. We are not the same.
Yeah, one of us is a stupid Four Eyes. The other one is over here making money at Bet Online. That's what I'm doing. Napoli threw down more money than I've ever too much for a soccer game, but they won. I was happy about it, and now my day is better. Bought a hat online after doing that, so that's what happens. You can equal it out. You hit a bet. You say, "Oh, there's a hat that I like. I'm going to buy that hat." BetOnline is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet all of your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BLEAV to receive your rewards. Please bet responsibly. Don't bet like I do, whereas if I win a bet, then I determine that, I can eat. I can go get some dinner tonight.
Oh, stop. Don't act like you're betting that much. Stop. Relax.
I like rationalizing, though, with a bet. You hit a bet, you're like, oh, this meal's free. That's a rationale that I can have, Joe. I think you would have a similar one also if you bet more than 50 cents to 75 cents on 10-leg parlays. Anyways, betonline.ag, where the game starts.
Thank you, Sean. All right, let's talk college football. So the first thing I want to get to that was a big talking point for a lot of people this week. And I want to pivot the angle on this because I think a lot of people are just getting upset over these newly proposed rules. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, college football executives, and this was reported by Sean's boy, Ross Dellinger, that there are rules that they're intending or experimenting that they would like to change about college football. I don't even want to waste time going through the 4 rules because they're kind of ridiculous. In theory, they're all pretty ridiculous.
I mean, you can hit them quickly. It's no back-to-back timeouts. It's the clock doesn't stop after first down, and then clock doesn't stop after incomplete passes, with the exception of, I believe, spiked balls within 2 minutes.
There's also no untimed downs, as well as is the other one. But the intention here is to speed up college football games. And first and foremost, I don't think there's an audience retention problem. This is not Major League Baseball.
I beg to differ.
You think that there's an audience retention problem in college football?
I think that a lot of people sitting at are you talking about in the stands or at home?
Both.
I think there is. I think a lot of people will watch the play, look at their phones for 30 seconds, watch the play again, watch the next play.
Why does that matter?
I do think that's you said if it's an audience retention attention.
Audience retention.
I am the biggest fool in school because I thought retention was attention. Retention, you're correct. Attention, I'm correct.
To clarify what I mean by audience retention, I'm talking about fans by the end of the game, they're burnt out and they don't want to watch it, or they don't want to sit down and watch a whole game because it's 3+ hours long. I think it's one of the few sports where of that length, despite it not being a super quick game, I think everyone that is a college football fan and it being a massive audience, everyone's still excited. And I think that even with blowouts, teams playing FCS teams, most people sit and watch through most of the game. The timing thing is no issue. Do you at least agree with that, or do you also disagree with that?
I mean, a gripping college football game, or even a tight one, or 2 scores, I'll tune in. But you got to admit, if it's the Saturday slate and you're looking around, you're looking for the best game. You are. And that's what you do. You surf the channels, find the best game. That's just human nature to do. But if you're like an Indiana fan, right? You're probably going to watch the entire Indiana football game, no matter how bad it is between them and Minnesota. Okay, it is what it is. But I think mostly college football fans are zealots, and college football fans are they're little cults, and they stick there and they sit in front of the TV for 3.5 hours, watch their game and their team, and they flip around. I think the casual fans is what they're more worried about.
But I don't understand why college football executives are so worried about the casual fan.
Did you give me an air quote for the
I've been doing that the whole show. You haven't noticed me doing that the whole show.
Football executives. I don't know what the air quotes.
It could be a janitor for all I know.
I doubt that it's a janitor.
Ask Ross to tell us who he spoke to.
I'm not going to. I'm okay on that.
Don't be soft. Ask Ross to tell us who he spoke to. I need to know. By the way, I found actually we'll talk about this off air. We got to talk about this off air. About something else. Though, as we do on this show, we've got a lot of tinfoil hat theories.
Oh, okay.
I really do believe, Sean, that this is an attempt to leak to Ross, to give him the information, to put out there, to distract us. We had one of the messiest NIL eras, and we're only 2 years into this crap. We're 2 years into this, and it has already been a massive, massive mess. We have the Jaden Rashada situation where he gets stiffed his money. He wants out of his NLI. That was a whole cluster F. Then on top of that, we've got teams like Texas A&M that incentivize a bunch of kids with money. Most of them are not really team players, or they just don't want to be there, a part of that program. Most of them are leaving. There are so many issues right now, and those are just a few, to also throw in the fact that the transfer portal is amok with incentivization by programs to go after guys that aren't even in the transfer portal, like Tucker Kraft, which premiered on this channel, in which he told Ryan that big programs try to offer him money to leave South Dakota State. With all of those issues, that is what is plaguing college football. And on top of that, it's also being plagued by the fact that the NCAA refuses to pay its players. That is an issue that won't be resolved anytime soon. They knew that we'd get pissed off over this. They have no intention of instituting any of these things. They wanted to make us mad to distract us. That's what this is. That's what the intention of this was.
I don't think this is as big as... I don't think that the rule change is like we're all worried about the UFOs and the aliens and the balloons when there was a huge chemical disaster in Ohio cover-ups thing.
I think it is.
I don't think it's of that, that scale. I don't think it's of that scale. I think that there are some stuff that's floated out there that might distract, but I don't think that this is the one. They're not behind the closed door saying, "Hey, let's drop this on those jerks," and then we'll get.
I think it is though. I really do. Because do you think that they're really like putting their heads together and they're like, "Oh man, we need to shave 5 minutes off of these football games, man. These games are too long." The MLB proposed rule changes are supposed to rapidly speed up the game. The college football changes, and in the article that Ross wrote, did a really good job breaking this down. It's like a 5 to 10 minute average difference between what it is now in the current NFL.
Well, yeah, because also the football has become so bloated with everything but football that I think there's been some pushback about that. The college football national championship game, far too long. The Super Bowl, far too long. It's all too long. Video package on video pack. Everything surrounding the game that is in the game should be trimmed down. But because there's a bunch of TV money, they're not going to trim that down because they want to retain viewership. So, hey, let's try to knock off some time, save a couple plays, and then we'll be able to have less football and more TV, which is what I believe is going on, and not
you think it's greedy in a different way.
That is my tinfoil hat.
Okay. I like that tinfoil hat theory.
Of course you do. I stole it
number two
from 2 other people.
From the people you work for?
I did. I've made a little bit of a variation on it, but they made a point of saying that the television corporations definitely are in there pushing some agendas in the meetings.
Well, see, the one thing I don't understand, and Blake, my co-host on the other college show that I do, brought this up, is that like we get on the college, or not the college game, the NFL games where they do the picture in picture where, the camera pans out and then it's just like, let's kind of like look around while they're doing stuff on the field. And then the ad pops up. Like, I don't understand why, if they're so concerned about trying to get more ad money in there, why don't they just shove more of that
There's
down
never
our
enough.
throats?
I don't think there's ever enough, Joe. And I don't think college football has been ever more popular than it is now. I'm not saying it's the best football, because all the old heads are going to come at tell me about the 1980 Rice team. Okay, awesome.
Or the 1920s back in the day when it was when it was all about character. That was character development. These kids these days are greedy.
But all can be true here. But it's I don't think there's ever enough. I think that they know that college football fans are simpletons is a strong word. It's a strong word, but impressionable is the word that I'll say.
Yeah.
I think football fans are impressionable. I'm impressionable. Joe pretends that he's not, but he is. So you are.
Nice Blue Jays hat, by the way.
Nice stealing, nice using your header every time from no context college football. Tell me you're not impressionable because some dork has a mohawk in the stands.
Why is that impressionable? Explain to me how that's impressionable. How is that
impressionable? Of course it is.
Explain to me how it's impressionable.
How is it not? Oh, he's doing something funny in the stands. Let me make this about me. How about that?
No, I want to have a creative, fun header. That's it. Why does it need to be
Why
that
do you
deep?
think you're better than every other football fan then?
I don't think I'm better. Actually, I do think I'm better than every
other. Yeah, that's what I thought. God, you're easy to just get. You would survive 5 minutes if you were a squirrel in the wild. Because I would just be I'd lay a trap with a banana in it, which is what squirrels don't even eat, and I'd still be able to catch you.
Screw you. Sean,
you look like a squirrel that you had in New Jersey.
Let's get the fat oaf that ate my food order.
I love that
That's
story.
Still, I don't know if I got a picture of that squirrel. That thing didn't even have a tail. That thing was a small orb.
It's my
asshole ate my food.
Oh, it's one of my favorite stories you've ever told me.
Sean, no, I think I left you a voice note too. And while I was hunting the squirrel too, after he ate my food delivery. Sean, let's get to topic 2 though, which is I want to pitch. I love being negative on this show. What 2 teams each do we think are bound to have massive drop-offs next season in 2023? So I'm going to pitch my first one here. I think that TCU, as much of a TCU homer as I am now, I know this isn't a hot take. I think that TCU, we need to just get out ahead of this one. We can't not bring them up as having a massive drop-off. Do I think that they can be ranked? It's possible. But looking at all the production that they're losing offensively is massive. They're losing Quentin Johnson, Kendre Miller, and also, of course, Max Duggan. It is going to be a very uphill battle. And for them to get back to, let's ignore the fact of them getting back to the national championship because a lot of luck was involved for them to get there. I am just talking from the aspect of for them to be in contention for the Big 12. I don't think that they're going to be anywhere close to that. I think they're going to be very, very far off from being in competition for that because of all of the lost production that they no longer have that is going to be entering the NFL draft this upcoming year.
You're not wrong. It's I already said it. It's not a hot take. It's a rational take, which I think is fine for you to start off with. I think it's fair. And losing that much talent, even though I believe Sonny Dykes is a great coach. I think he's a great coach, and I think they're still going to be a great competitor in the Big 12. Magic team, hard to carry over Magic into the next season, and I have kind of a Magic team of my own that'll be number 1. If you want me to get to that now, I can.
Yeah, Rudy.
I think South Carolina, and I know the Beamer Ball and the culture there is changing, and they're becoming more legit in the SEC, and they play hard, and they had a lot of guys that were just – it always felt like South Carolina had stellar athletes, guys that were just made out of brick and stone and steel, that were fast, they could jump high, hit hard. But growing up, it never felt like they were the team that to beat, or they were the team that was really taking off. They had some really good players, Jadavion Clowney years, God, DJ Swearinger years. A lot of good talent came from there, but it just always felt like one or two guys. And last year, it felt like they actually had a team. Hard to replicate that with South Carolina. I think that the SEC. I mean, speak about hot takes. No shot against Georgia. No shot against Alabama next year. I know they really destroyed Tennessee, but I'm still not concerned about South Carolina, and I don't know why I should be. And I know they had a great end to 2022, 2023, but I don't know if you can just pick right up the next season with a new cast like that. I think they're a team that needs to build momentum. And it's hard for me to say, oh, this team's going to build momentum in week 8 and then close it out hot. I don't work like that. I don't think so. So South Carolina is my first team here.
Yeah, actually, I think this is a great pick because Spencer Rattler coming back and he looks better than ever. He's kind of got his juice back. But separate from that, they lose Jaheim Bell. They lose Austin Stogner. They lose a lot. And I think for what they did to finish out the year was promising. They are very depleted from last year. A lot of the guys that helped them finish the year strong are gone. So no, I have no faith in South Carolina. And I know South Carolina fans hate me, but the Cocks are going to be down. The Cocks are going to be down next year, man. The Cocks are going to be limp all of next season.
You stink.
No Cocktober coming next year.
Oh, you disappoint me a lot with your
What?
You try
the
to
cock jokes.
Yeah, a nice double entendre, man. Nice. That you were going over a bunch of platforms, right? That's what we're doing.
Yes.
You stink.
Very mature. Sean, my second team, I think Kansas State that won the Big 12 is going to have a little bit of a step back. And I think this one's going to be a little bit less significant than what I'm talking about with TCU. They might still be in contention. I think that Will Howard, had he played earlier on last season, they would have been a much better team because Adrian Martinez stinks. And I said it from the beginning of the year, and Kansas State fans were bellowing over it. Oh, why do you think Adrian Martinez isn't good? You don't watch the games. But he really did stink. He's not a good quarterback. Will Howard, on the other hand, got a lot of promise. I think that he can do a lot of nice things. The reason why I think there's going to be a drop-off is that, they're losing some guys on defense. Cooper Beebe is a nice player who's coming back on their offensive line, but man, Deuce Vaughn was everything for you guys. Deuce Vaughn was so freaking good. And I worry the lack of production that you're going to have from him in particular is going to be a massive drop-off. I love him as a draft prospect. I have him ranked as my third running back in this class. I'm a very big fan of Deuce Vaughn. And I think just for all that we saw him do last year, man, it's going to be hard to replicate that because they were getting him the ball on every down. Every single down, and to not have that guy is going to be a huge issue.
God, you are down on the Big 12 next year, aren't you? Why can't we be pro Big 12 here on this show? That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm a big fan of the Big 12. Second one that I sent you here, and audio listeners are not going to be happy with. Second one, you said, I think that's his brother, the squirrel.
Oh, the video that I sent you.
The video is of your food, and the picture beneath is that you believe the squirrel's brother.
What?
You little asshole. Where'd he go? He's in this tree. Where'd you go, bud?
You can't just let us get through a segment without distracting.
Ripping apart my garbage. Wait, yeah, let's look at this. Look what he just did. Look what he just did. This is a fiend. He's fat. This is not a normal squirrel. He's huge.
This is ADD radio right here.
Come on, get out of there.
You're kicking the bushes.
Get off my property.
Can you hear how out of breath I was, man? This is me at 2:30.
Where are you, bud? Come on. It's time for you to leave.
I'm so out of breath. All right, who's your second team?
My second team. It's I'm sorry. I had to find the squirrel stuff. It's one of my favorite parts about you living in New Jersey. My second team, I'm going with Texas A&M to get even worse next year. And it was a bad year for the Aggies. It was bad from the optics of the Midnight Yell stuff, which was embarrassing. And I know they love it. And I know the A&M fans and students aren't ashamed. They're embarrassed by it, and all power to them. That's a bad optic for a college football team. It is. When everyone's clowning you about your tradition, and then all your new recruits are looking at people clowning you for what the fans are doing, not good. That carries over. The stench of the humiliation carries over. The stench of losing games you should win. The stench of Jimbo's contract. All the recruits, all the money, all the transfers leaving. It's going to go worse for Texas A&M. They might win the first 2 weeks. They might beat the first Power 5 team that they play. I don't see them having a successful season. I don't. I can't. It's too much going on there. There's too much going on.
You think that they have a drop-off from what they did last year? The horribly disturbing year that they had last year?
Oh, yeah. I think it's very much possible. And we were joking around before the show saying, oh, maybe I'll just take UConn. UConn, like, won more games last year than I think they did in the last decade. All right.
Honestly, I think it would have been hilarious if you picked UConn, by the way.
I gotcha. I think Texas A&M, it's dumpster fire year.
I don't. First of all, I think it would take a lot for them to be worse, but I also don't disagree with this because they didn't really improve this offseason. Connor Weigman's a really nice quarterback, but they're one of the few teams in the SEC that didn't improve. One of the few. Kind of like South Carolina. I don't know how you can be optimistic. Maybe you improved because you brought Bobby Petrino in, but you lost a lot of kids to the portal that were pissed off and upset and didn't like being there.
Petrino makes me nervous because Petrino is a real ball coach. Jimbo is a salesman, right? He's a salesman that knows football. Petrino's a ball coach, and that makes it divisive. It can, because if you have players that don't like Fisher, I'm not saying they do or they don't, but if you have a guy that you don't really trust, and you got Petrino coming in here selling the snake oil, getting people fired up, saying, "Oh, this guy should be our coach," and then there's what is it? Breaks in the ranks. There's something in the ranks. You know, the what is it? What's the word? A descriptive phrase, idiom, simile, metaphor, something in the ranks. It's not going to go good. Say something. Help me figure it out.
I'm a little dumbfounded.
What is the term?
And just in general, you have a very interesting way about using the English language, my friend. Because usually what I do when I forget something, I just power through it and I try to think of something else while I'm talking to derail your thought that much.
It was at the end of my thought. I was closing it out, but I had the big punch at the end. Someone's going to tell me what this phrase is. I'm going to be pissed.
I don't even know what phrase you're looking for.
Dissension in the ranks?
Sure.
That's what I'm looking for.
That's a way to end the show.
Awesome. We should mention the last point that I wrote in.
What was the last point that you wrote in?
Why don't you check it out? Look at the doctor in the show.
Oh, yeah. We are, as a former FCS podcast, it's still technically an FCS football podcast. I don't check the doc because of where my computer's
I
positioned.
think that
Lindsey Scott was the second overall pick in the USFL draft, and I think that, frankly, this is perfect for him to go on to the USFL, and I think he's going to be so freaking good for the Pittsburgh Maulers. I don't think you should worry about the NFL right now. Go to the USFL, ball out. He is going to be so good against some of those goofballs that are on these rosters. He is designed to be the highest paid player in the USFL. He's that type of guy.
He was awesome in Incarnate Word, and if there's stuff that crosses our dash that pertains to FCS as much as it pertains to FBS or whatever it is, if it's a big enough story, we'll bring it up. And Lindsey Scott was one of our favorite players this past year. He was stellar, and it's going to be really fun tuning into the USFL. I think I'm a little more excited for spring football this year than I have been. The XFL started off okay. In week
I didn't
one,
really watch much of it.
I might go to a Defenders game. I might.
You should. Is Cardale Jones still the quarterback?
I don't even. No. It's I just talked about it yesterday. I don't want to buy Teamu, maybe.
Jordan Teamu.
Yes.
He stinks. He stinks. I am excited for it though, and happy again for Lindsey Scott.
Yeah.
Sean, it's going to wrap us up on though at Joe DeLeone at Sanderson Radio, Hack City, wherever you can find us. Any closing thoughts, Sean?
No, I mean, I guess, more videos coming out on Hack City now that I actually got credentialed by Joe, who just gate kept all the passwords for a year.
There was no gatekeeping. There was no gatekeeping.
There was some gatekeeping.
You
but
never
now
asked.
Now
you
I'm
never
spewing
asked.
some hot takes.
You never asked.
Oh, I have.
But
now there's a lot more content coming out at Hack City. It's not just
more bad takes from Sean coming your way. Will Sean
get your fingers out of the screen?
Look bigger.
Get the fingers away
in the
from
shorts.
me.
Will he make himself look bigger in the YouTube
You make
shorts?
me look big. You go
We
ahead.
may
You
never
try to make me.
know.